this is Brian Tyler Cohen, a political commentator and the co-founder of Chorus Media, an incubator program for left-wing political influencers. Here's Cohen back in November 2024.
I've been beating the drum about growing the progressive media ecosystem for years now. We've finally got an exciting update. I'm part of a team of creators that's created Chorus Media. Chorus is a creator-led group of voices from the left coming together to scale up, drive the conversation online, and try and rebalance the massive disparity at play on the left and the right.
So Cohen is claiming that when it comes to online commentators, that somehow the left is at an unfair advantage, which is ridiculous. Another left-wing influencer was quoted by the New York Times saying, "Conservative influencers have year-round support, and those of us on the left have been left to fend for ourselves, and it's not working," said Leah McGowan, who goes by I Am Politics Girl and has more than 2 million followers across various platforms. So according to Politics Grandma over here, conservative influencers have year-round support. From who, you ask? Well, the New York Times has that answer. Turning Point has supported or incubated roughly 350 right-wing influencers over the years, the group said, including some of the biggest names on the right, such as Benny Johnson, Candace Owens, and Alex Clark. One past influencer, Anna Paulina Luna, is now a member of Congress from Florida. But most creators on the right, including myself, don't receive a dime in funding. But what we have experienced is censorship, content throttling, demonetization, and in some cases even deplatforming, something that rarely, if ever, happens to left-wing creators. And with that said, if you want to support the work that I do, please consider hitting that subscribe button to help me get to 1 million subs by the midterms. Or if you're so inclined, maybe buy some cool merch from my new store at don'twalkrun.shop. But I digress. So on August 27th, Taylor Lorenz, of all people, dropped a bombshell article on Wired titled, "A Dark Money Group is Secretly Funding High-Profile Democratic Influencers. An initiative aimed at boosting Democrats online offers influencers up to $8,000 a month to push the party line. All they have to do is keep it a secret and agree to restrictions on their content." The contract sent to these creators mandated extensive secrecy about disclosing their payments and had restrictions on what sort of political content the creators could produce. So immediately after the Wired article was published, Brian Tyler Cohen was forced to go into damage control mode.
Chorus does not pay creators for content, does not tell them what to say, does not control who they talk to or work with, and there is absolutely nothing in the contract that could even be reasonably interpreted to say that we do. Period. Full stop. I don't know a single creator who would willfully sign up for a program that would tell them what they can or can't say.
So a dark money group is Chorus's fiscal sponsor, and Chorus is paying creators with that dark money funding to say anything they want, completely without restriction. Yeah, that's not credible. Of course, Cohen could simply show the text from the contract to prove that the article was BS, right? Right?
The creators do not toe any party line. How could we? There isn't a party line.
But in a video announcing the formation of Chorus, Brian Tyler Cohen said the following.
So here's the deal. Chorus is going to support left-wing creators in a bunch of tangible ways, funding editors and researchers and bookers, helping creators who are established on one platform make sure they've got a presence on the others, and coordinating our messaging. Now, for me specifically, I'm not going to accept any funding. That money needs to go to new creators and the folks who can help them grow, but I'll be focused on message coordination.
Furthermore, the Washington Post reported last November that the group, i.e. Chorus, plans to hold daily editorial calls reminiscent of traditional newsrooms, so creators are united in focusing on the same issues in hopes of better breaking through with voters. And think about it, the group is literally named Chorus, the definition of which is a group of people that say the same thing at the same time, or a simultaneous utterance of something by many people.
I'm really proud of the independence that they have to say whatever they want to say in whatever way they want to say it.
Just as long as they say what Chorus wants them to say.
There's the implication in the article that this is some arm of the DNC, or the Democratic Party. We have literally nothing to do with the DNC. I spend 0 minutes of my day thinking about the DNC.
But the article doesn't even mention the Democratic National Committee, not even once. Cohen is lying in an attempt to discredit Taylor Lorenz's and Wired's reporting. Second, Chorus may not be working directly with the DNC, but they do work with Democrats. But in a report by Max Tanney over at Semaphore, Cohen is working for congressional Democrats. Back in February, dozens of lawmakers from the House and Senate Democratic caucuses participated in private briefings with Brian Tyler Cohen, a political influencer and the co-founder of Chorus, a Democratic digital group. The briefings laid out what Cohen described to Semaphore as tips to help Democratic members better get their messages out on new media platforms. One thing he recommended is a particular type of small microphone popular with online content creators that members and their staff should have for whenever they decide to post. Which is why you see congressional Democrats holding these little DJI microphones in their hands while they make videos.
Gas is getting higher.
Gas, all getting more expensive.
Price of gas up.
Gas keeps going up.
Gas.
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 The prices of gas.
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 Prices of gas.
So the advice from Chorus was, when you lie to the American public, use this microphone. Pin it on your suit jacket. And don't be stupid, Senator. Hold it like you're an 18-year-old TikTok star. In the months since the election, Cohen's group, Chorus, has repositioned itself and set up a digital quasi-assignment desk where lawmakers on Capitol Hill and prominent Democrats elsewhere can connect directly on the back end with creators to facilitate one-on-one interviews or otherwise get their message out. So Brian Tyler Cohen is like, we don't work for the DNC, which kind of sounds like he's trying to misdirect from the fact that they do coordinate with the Democrats to help spread their messaging.
I should note that while I started this program, I have never and will never get paid. I do this 100% as a volunteer. I have never earned a dime from Chorus, and I never will.
This seems a little too carefully worded if you ask me. Maybe he's not earning money from Chorus, but is the Dark Money Group directly funding Brian personally? No, he's doing this out of the kindness of his heart and for the greater good. We believe you, Brian. So according to Wired, influencers included in communication about the program include Olivia Juliana, of course.
If you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
Not gonna say it, not gonna say it. Also, there's Suzanne Lambert, who has called herself a Regina George liberal. And then there's Barra Adair, a content creator who runs, quote, an American Girl doll themed pro-DNC meme account. I swear I'm not making it up. And then there's Ariel Fodor, aka Mrs. Frazzled, an education creator with 1.4 million followers on TikTok.
Macaroni cheese, everybody freeze. Labor Day is for workers, friend. No, I'm gonna hold that for you, okay? So you can use your listening ears. You already took how many vacations? 8 vacations, right? So it's time to get to work now. Got it?
Also named as a Chorus recipient is David Pakman, who has now made 2 videos responding to the allegations in the Wired article.
All right, I was not even going to talk about this, and I was not even going to give this the time of day.
Why weren't you going to talk about it, David? Is it because your contract with Chorus told you not to?
And so I am going to talk about it. I was named in an article in Wired yesterday, and the article is about a so-called dark money group.
It's not a so-called dark money group. It's literally a dark money group. In 2022, the New York Times wrote about how the Democrats won in 2020, in part thanks to millions of dollars in dark money, a single cryptically named entity that has served as the clearinghouse of undisclosed cash for the left, the 1630 Fund, received mystery donations as large as $50 million and disseminated grants to more than 200 groups, while spending a total of $410 million in 2020. More than the Democratic National Committee itself. And now that same dark money group is the fiscal sponsor of Chorus, which means that David Pakman is receiving so-called dark money. Womp womp.
So what does Chorus do? They run technical trainings, how to produce content, how to make your operation more efficient, how do you take a small shop of 1, 2, or 3 people and put content out on multiple platforms the way I've been doing successfully for decades.
So the question is, why does David Pakman, who has over 3.3 million subscribers and has been successfully putting out content for decades, need technical trainings from Chorus? And why does he need as much as $8,000 a month in dark money? And by the way, David, you can't call your program independent if you're receiving money from billionaires. That's not how it works.
And this kind of support for creators is exactly what I've been advocating for. Now, I'm one of the larger creators in the current cohort. I want to help others grow. I want to mentor people. I want to grow the left media space. That's something I've been advocating for years.
Then what was stopping you from mentoring other creators for all these years, David? Kind of seems like you were waiting for that infusion of dark money as an incentive.
They do advocacy trainings. They do media trainings. How do you deal with adversarial media? Reporters with bad intentions who contact you.
So when Chorus is portrayed negatively, I guess they tell their cohort to say that it's adversarial media and that the reporters are out to get them. Then make a video proclaiming that somehow left-wing creators are being victimized and proclaim they're trying to take us down. So a couple days after his initial response, David Pakman released another video titled, "Lawsuit for Defamation?"
Well, I hate to start a show like this, but I do have to talk today about a defamation lawsuit. After Wired published a piece last week that made a number of untrue allegations and implications about me and other creators. So I'm going to get to the am I suing for defamation question in a moment. There are people who will not be satisfied unless I file and win a defamation suit, sue for defamation, suing for defamation, the possibilities of a defamation lawsuit. Now let's get to the defamation issue. Over the last few days, I've consulted with some of the top defamation attorneys in the country.
And spoiler alert, he's not going to sue for defamation. Pakman claims that, it would take too much time and money. But the reality is, he doesn't have a case. The Wired article is about Chorus, and David Pakman's name is mentioned one time, saying that he is an influencer that was included in communication about the program and may have been in an onboarding session to receive payments. And if you print something and it's true, it's not defamatory.
They wrongly believe the DNC tells me what to say, that the DNC is involved. Not true. At its base, the group has nothing to do with the DNC, period. This group has nothing to do with the DNC.
Pakman and Cohen seem overly concerned that viewers will think that they're affiliated with the DNC, even though, again, the article never mentions the DNC. The lady doth protest too much, methinks. The more they claim that they aren't, the less that you should believe them.
Some creators in the first 48 hours took the Wired story and expanded it with even more outrageous claims, suggesting that it's AIPAC or IPAC. I don't even know how it's pronounced. IPAC, that is funding this show or other creators.
Wait, David Pakman has been a political commentator for 20 years and doesn't know how to pronounce AIPAC?
AIPAC. There are Jews who support AIPAC.
Oh, he does know how to pronounce it. I know you're shocked. Look, the whole point here is that the Democrats, including David Pakman, have been critical of money in politics for years. But when Democrats like David Pakman can use it to their advantage, well, it's different. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time, if there is next time.